Check, check. Hope everything's working. Looks like we're okay here. Hey everybody, I thought I'd do another little live video here from my studio this morning, and it's been a while since I've done any live videos, so I thought, yeah, it would be nice to make a new little live video and try and connect with people again after a little break. I've been busy trying to get my firewood in for the winter, so I haven't had too much time to make art in the last couple weeks. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and make a little picture here today, and I think it'd be fun if I did it live. So thanks for tuning in and checking out what I've been up to here. So yeah, today I think I'm going to be working in some acrylic paint because it's quick, and I'm excited to do this picture of this tree. I thought, yeah, I'll do like a little study of this tree that I saw on a little hike last month in the woods. So yeah, I thought it would be interesting to try and capture that. So I'm going to be using acrylic today because it's probably been years since I've worked in acrylic, and I usually don't work in acrylic. I like oil paint, and I really actually dislike acrylic painting, and I had this kind of stigma against it for years. I used to work in it, when I was in high school, and then, here and there. But yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just see what happens and start to work in acrylic here, just to do like a little study here, and it's nothing serious. I'm just gonna, as if I'm drawing, just sketching this tree and see what happens. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, it was, we'll see what happens here. So I got a different setup for my live camera, so you can't really see my palette, but just using basic primary palette, so yellow, red, and blue, and that's it. 3 colors plus a white. So I'll see what happens here. I know I can't get too dark with this palette. I can't get blacks mixed. I can't mix blacks too well with this palette, like not as dark as I'd like to, but I can go pretty dark. So let's see here. I'm just going to mix up a kind of a grayish tone. It might not look too good when I start, but that's okay. I'll switch brushes right here. I want to get that, there's a nice greenish color in the background here of the light coming through the back of the trees. And I'm going to try and use big brushes, and there's a lot of blue in that green back there. I'll just kind of wash in general tones here to start. This is probably like the worst time to go live. Everybody's, you know, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning or something. Everybody's busy. But, oh well, that's what's going on today. Yeah, I thought it would be nice to do this little video here, and so I thought, yeah, I'm just going to go live, and whoever's going to tune in, tunes in. I'm just, it's so weird working in acrylic compared to oil, like for me. Yeah, it's been a long time, so I'm trying to get used to a lot of different things here that I'm not used to. So I'm just gonna be working right now, just kind of watery to start. And I know I can. One of the bonuses of acrylic, or the like the strengths of it, I know, is like you can paint in layers quickly. So it's compared to oils, quicker than oils, I think, because the oils take a while to dry. So that's a bonus. And I can paint over, you know, areas and kind of block things in. Oops. So yeah. This tree is really interesting. I really liked seeing the light kind of cascade on the one side here, and all this dappled light of the needles on the ground. So I'm like, oh, this looks cool. I'm going to paint that. And so I snapped a couple pictures, and today, looking through my photo references, I thought, oh yeah, that's nice, so I'll try that one. Hopefully my broadcast here on, I'm using Facebook this morning, see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too choppy and my internet's good. Good enough for broadcasting, I hope. You never really can tell until it's over, for me. Oops. Already the paint's starting to tack up, and I've just started. Hmm. The one thing I noticed right away is like my palette, I think it's just me, but I'm working here and it's a lot, my palette's a lot messier compared to when I paint with oils. I'm kind of just using like a muddy kind of a technique here where I have a pile of color mixed in, like a grayish, all these different gray tones. And I'm just kind of using that to shift the color here and there. So I'm going to try and paint from back to front. So get the objects from the background in first. I'm also painting on this this kind of a plein air box I've got instead of my usual easel, which is kind of throwing me for a loop. But that's okay. I think it's good to you know, now and then kind of challenge yourself and get out of the habits. I think it's good. So yeah, like acrylic. So this is all brand new for me in my process. So yeah, acrylic is new. I'm painting on this palette box, which I usually don't, and I'm just decided to go live randomly. So we'll see how it goes. It could be a disaster, but that's okay. I'm just deciding now. Let's see. So the color, yeah, the color looks okay. Just mixing up a color for the that light in the background. It's like a shiny, shiny green tone. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because this palette, this primary palette that I have, I'm not going to be able to get the saturation that, or some of these tones, I don't think, but that's okay. I'm going to try and get it as close as I can. These are just some really old tubes of acrylic I've had for a while. I think they must be about 20 years old. Like, I haven't bought acrylic for like a long time. So it's almost funny. Like, I just found them, and they're still good. I had to open them. I have to open them with the pliers, because they stick, I guess. But they're still good. They're still going. I thought, oh, cool. Might as well use these acrylic paints. And I'm just trying to concentrate on the, trying not to do details at this point, just like when I do oil paintings. I don't think it matters what medium it is. I'm always trying to, at the starting, just go kind of broad, and then work your way into specifics. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the background. There's all these leaves and sticks and things in the background here. That's it's kind of blurry back there. It's like in the woods. So I'm just trying to. There's all these trees, and just trying to decide here. Where I want the light and the composition here to come through. So, yeah. The one thing with acrylic is I can just paint right over. It doesn't take long. Like, already this is pretty dry, and I just painted it like 5 minutes ago. And I can just go right over it if I don't like it, or if I want to change it, and kind of layer things in this way. So it's a very quick way of painting. So it's good exercise for me, because I'm trying to train myself to you know, not think too much and just react quicker and when I'm painting. So it's a good medium for that method, I think. I'm painting pretty thinly here. I think I'm going to turn up the thickness soon. So yeah, I'm just mixing red, white, red, yellow, and blue, and then white to get some of these tones. Seeing. I'm just adding white to lighten it. It's pretty simple, kind of and then tinting it here and there for the rest. The ground has this sunlight, which is almost white. I don't want to go right to white, but That's almost white there. Comes down. It's quite messy looking at the starting. Sometimes it's messy looking at the end. But that's okay. I've been trying to use bigger brushes too, so like this one here is a number 12. It's like a 3/4 inch maybe, or 1 inch. Yeah, 3/4, somewhere around there. With the bigger brush you can get a little bit more abstraction in the piece. There's this branch here, and I think I have it a little too high. Maybe I'll fix that right now. It comes over and then up. Just adding a little bit of highlights here. Just to get my bearings. Then there's a branch under here, right underneath that. I really liked how like these branches kind of just go up like this. Like it's really interesting to me. Sometimes that's all it takes, something to catch your eye, you know, and then there's some nice blue up here in the top. Purple tones. Whoops. Just kind of dry brushing some of these little branches in the background that I can see. I'm not sure if I'll put that, yeah, maybe I will put that stick. There's like a branch that's broken off here, and I think I will put it in. Oh, looks like I ran out of blue. I don't know what it is with these things, but they stick on. Like it doesn't take long. They stick the caps stick right on the. It just welds itself on there, and I have to use pliers. My weak artist hands can't open them. Okay, let's go with a little red, yellow. Comes down to here, I think, somewhere around here. Let's see. Be nice to have it come up. Right there. Yeah, with this palette, I'm finding it kind of tricky to actually get a black, like a dark shadow color. So I'm just mixing, you know, like a purple, and then trying to desaturate that by adding yellow so that it's not actually purple and it's like a neutral. But then once you add yellow, it starts to lighten the purple, and it's a very I'm finding it very tricky, but it's good, I think, to work like this with these limitations. It just makes you, I think, a stronger painter in the end if you, you know, if you put these kind of restrictions on yourself, you know, and not be comfortable and get out of your comfort zone, I think it's good to, and I think it'll help in anything else you do, like drawing even, and other, like with my oil painting, maybe this will translate over to my oil paints too, and who knows. Some things about working in acrylic I see here are actually easier than oil. And one of them is just the fastness of how fast you can work. Like with oils, when you start, it gets really muddy when you and you can't work this quick. You can, but you have to plan it out a little better than just painting right over top of what you did. So yeah, I think with this acrylic medium, it allows you to experiment a little bit more because you're not worried about getting too muddy with the picture. You can just paint over it. Like you can paint white over black and black over white, and you can go basically do anything you want because it is so fast when it dries. Just trying to desaturate that background a little more to push the perspective. So I'm just making a little mess here. supposed to rain today, so we'll see if it actually happens. We were supposed to get a windstorm last night, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear any wind when I was sleeping, so I don't know what happened. I woke up and it looked like it kind of rained, but it didn't really look like there was any wind, and I didn't hear any wind when I was sleeping. So anyways, yeah, let me know if you like this format of the video, like of you know, the reference photo, and then, you know, camera with me on it, or if you like the old format with just the palette. I thought it would be cool to show the actual reference photo that I'm working from. I thought that would be nice, because I kind of like to see that too, like when I watch other artists work. I like to see what they're looking at. It's kind of interesting to me. I think I just need one more camera, and then I got two right now, but I think if I had another one, I could do like a palette cam, and then this cam here that you see with me in it, and then the main camera. I think that would be cool to have three cameras going. So maybe I'll try and see if I can get another camera one day. So bright, this highlight here. It's like it's chiseling down. There's a triangle right there. And then there's these like warm, kind of orangey, kind of pinkish, like the needles, the pine needles down here on the ground. I'm just going to try and make sure my drawing's okay, half decent. Shoot. There's a great big highlight there. Yeah, I'm just using some round brushes here. This is like a number 8. The other one was a number 7. I'm trying not to use too small of a brush now. I'm just kind of trying to loosen up too. That's the other motive to kind of working today in acrylic. Just to kind of, I want to loosen up. I've been trying to loosen up for a while, and some artists don't have any trouble loosening up. They have really nice, you know, fluid brush strokes and that. But for some reason, you know, I'm one of those artists. I think that it's hard for me to just loosen up and not worry so much about what it looks like while I'm doing it. So that causes a lot of time spent you know, fixing and fiddling too much with it. So yeah, I figured, okay, acrylic is just kind of, it's like something I can just kind of play with here as if I was drawing. And okay, things are getting muddy again. So. There's a really dark shadow here. I just want to make sure I got it in there under this branch in the foreground. It's like the branch is it's pointing right toward us here. So I'm going to add some red to the shadows under it. And then there's a green shadow back here, but it's bluish green. Let's see here. Starts around here. Yeah, I find the composition shifts around quite a bit at this stage, because everything's kind of like a reaction to what I've put down before it. And when you're just painting, you know, at the starting, you don't really have anything to react against. So tree in the foreground is quite red. And then these other this tree back in here beside it is like a green color. That orange dot that I just put on there is that it's like it's that branch that's sticking out. And I ran out of red. So it looks like I got to put out more paint. But I don't want to put out too much because it dries so quickly. Yeah, that'll do me there. Such a simple palette, the primary palette. I don't know if I like it or not, but very simple. You can only, there's only 3 colors here. And so yeah. It's my phone. Whoops. Forgot to turn that down. Wow, does that ever shift quickly? I think the strength of this painting is going to be all in the highlights here. They're going to help define the shadows. Usually the shadows define everything, but this is interesting. There's so much going on. I'm going to have to try and simplify what I'm seeing. Some bark here comes down. Try and describe the form. Another cool thing with acrylic, you can just paint, well, I guess you can do it with oil too, but you can paint right on paper. I think it's a little easier than painting on paper with oils. you don't have to prepare the paper before you start painting. You just start, which is nice. You know, if you decide just one day, oh, I just want to make a painting right now, you can just sit down and go for it. And with oils, you got to make sure you have enough. There's a little more prep time involved, but that's okay. Oils have some really, really great strengths that acrylic doesn't, I think. One of the things I like about oils is the transparency and the translucency of the paint that you can get compared to like acrylic. Like this is quite flat, and when it's done, it'll be more of a flat-looking piece. Just because of the matting effect of the paint, like the physical nature of acrylics versus oil. Oil has that nice translucent transparency and these qualities that you'll never get with acrylics. However, I think if you want to get a quick painting in, that acrylics are good for that too, compared to oil. Let's see here. I'm just trying to decide where to cut this. Highlights in. There's a really strong highlight here, but it's taking away from my focal point, which is going to be up in here. So I might have to mute that down a little more. Got some nice blue tones in here on the forest floor. That's a little too light. It's like a shadow being cast by this tree in the front. Comes over like that. Okay, now that's the highlight here. making sense. There we go, it comes down. Like that. Oh man, that's not very good. Fix this up. That's better. The one thing I noticed working with acrylics versus oil is that, like, I can't just have a pool of color. Like, usually, like with oils, I'll have like a dark and a light, and then I can just dip into that at any time. I can't just have it lying around like that on the palette because it'll dry so quickly. With acrylic here, so having to, like, if I want to put just a quick, grab some black or dark, I have to remix it all the time. So I'm noticing, compared to oil, that I'm doing a lot of mixing on the palette, like on the fly kind of thing, as I'm working. Compared to oil painting, which is like I'd have all these colors pre-mixed kind of, and just dive into them and shift them, and spend all day or even a couple days with that same palette. But this, with acrylic, it dries so quickly, you can't do that. So you have to constantly be mixing, which is good. It's actually, I think, a good thing, because when you're doing all this mixing, you're doing a lot of looking too at the colors that you're trying to achieve. So it's good in that sense. Good exercise. Even more than an exercise, it's you're more active on the palette than you would be with maybe other mediums. Interesting. So I've got a red kind of shadow here. I'm going to try and put the kind of a purplish red. And then I see lots of different tones. There's really warm tones in this I think it's an old pine tree, or maybe a spruce or something. There's a nice backlit yellow orangey color in this branch right here. I want to make sure that I get that in. Let's see here. Too much mud. Yellow, please. If I had like a sienna, like a burnt sienna on my palette, or some way to mix a little bit more darker black, I could really capture a lot more than what I can here with this palette. But I think it'll be interesting when it's all done. I'll switch some brushes here. Just trying to define the foreground a little bit better here as it leads up to the tree. Too dark. Doing a lot of squinting, and yeah, so I'm trying to see the shapes. It's funny, I don't realize how much I squint until I'm done the painting, and then I walk away and I'm like, oh man, why do my eyes hurt so much? And I realize I've been squinting for like an hour or two. So sometimes I squint too much. It's really strong shadow, or sorry, highlight that's coming off of the branch here. I'm just gonna try and get that in. Got another twig coming off of it. This one up here is a little cooler. And up high, we've got some cold ones. Cold temperature. Maybe a little lighter, even more yellowy. I'm not sure if I'm used to how the colors shift as they dry yet, because I'm still pretty new to acrylics again, and I'm not sure if they dry darker than what I put down, so I'll just have to try and pay more attention to this, I think, as I'm working away. There's a really strong highlight up here. It's almost like I need a new brush just for up there. There we go. Oops. Now, let's just see. You know, I don't think I have enough definition between the tree and the forest behind it. So it's going to mix up a really bright yellowy greenish color. I'm try and define. It's tricky. I've got a bunch of trees here. It's just tricky to try and pick which ones to put in, you know. I don't want these sky holes to be too bright because they're going to detract from the tree here in front. Got to make sure that I define it somehow. So that's the trick I find with I have a hard time sometimes trying to simplify what I see, especially working with a photo because everything's frozen in time and you've got all these details that they're at your disposal, like they're right there. So, you know, it's tricky to choose what to keep and what to omit. Just putting in my darkest darks right now. Just going along and trying to look for them in the photo reference and trying sparingly put them in. I'm not happy with this section down here. I'm going to have to figure that out yet. We'll see what happens here. But it's starting to come together. It's funny, like some paintings come together quickly and some a little slower. Some of them you just call it a day and you start over tomorrow. You never really know what'll happen until you start into it. So I think what we need here is some highlights in the bottom, kind of pinkish tones. I might just have to straighten out a few things here, that's all. Just now putting in some final details on this trunk. Where the edge, the edge of the light kind of goes around it, just to define it there. It's getting there. Sorry, I'm so quiet. I'm not used to this acrylic medium as a medium, acrylic painting. So it's got me really thinking. It's fun. And yeah, I highly recommend it if you're also an artist to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. Whether it's like a new medium, like if you're working in like acrylic and switch to oil maybe for a week, or drawing, or whatever you want to do, I think it would be pretty rewarding. Even if you fail, like this is, I don't know if this is a success or failure. It doesn't really matter, because that's not the point of it for me. It's to help me improve as an artist, become a little bit more well-rounded, and everything will trickle down into my other endeavors. Really beautiful light here against the trunk that's happening. I'm just trying to capture it somehow and not go too crazy. I just want to suggest things here and not overwork it. Keep that kind of spontaneity to the brushwork. I'm just kind of dabbing and adding little marks here and there. And this is where I think the acrylic shines through compared to some other mediums. Its ability to just paint over top of what you put down right over it like this. And you can really just keep on painting until you're satisfied with your result. I think that's a really nice strength to the medium that some other mediums don't carry. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Just going along, and I don't have that right back there. It drives me crazy. I don't have it right yet. Let's see if I can get that shadow in proper. It's like coming up to there. There we go. Something like that. Too much. There's a nice backlit section back in here I want to get. It's like a blue. Yep, right there. On the other hand, it's really easy to mess up things. If you like the way things are with acrylic and you start painting over it, suddenly it changes and can't get back what you had. That's another issue that could arise. That's happening back and forth on this painting even. I don't think I have the front section done the way I'd like it. Here, let me see if I can suggest some of these twigs a little bit better. Some really nice pink tones here. Right against the trunk. And that's what caught my eye in the woods, was the sunlight. On the branches. I'm putting like a thick paint around right now. It's kind of it's a white mixed with the just a little bit of yellow, and sometimes red, orangey colors, some warm tones. And I'm just kind of looking around for these highlights that I see in the picture. Great. I'm going to mute them down and then continue the highlight up here, because I don't want to distract the attention too much. From the trunk area. So, let's see. What time is it? 11:20. Yeah, it's almost lunchtime. I might call it soon. Not sure if I'll continue with this painting or just call it the way it is and move on to another one. It's nice to be able to just sit down and paint. I don't want to get too much details in here, and I think if I keep fiddling with it, it's going to kill it. It's going to kill the life that's in the paintings that we've got so far, if any. I'm just going to put in a few more little touches, and then we can step back and come back to it later, or move on to the next one. Yeah, I want some blue. There's some blue tones. There's some nice blue. I just want to get in there with the blue sky on the one corner. Right up in here. I've got all these red tones in the branches, so it'd be nice to have some blue just to offset that orange. And then there's some nice green. Let's see what we got here. Kind of a greenish tone. At the end, I just kind of go around and very quickly scan it with my eye and try and see if I can find any areas that just quickly need hits of color here and there so that they make sense. There we go. That's what I was looking for. go. There's my crazy phone again. Ay, ay, ay. What's this now? Oh. Clip goat hooves. That's the announcement today. Clip goat hooves. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it. I keep on tightening this thing up, and I'm not sure if I'm making it better or worse. And usually that is a sign to me to step off, step away, and look at it with fresh eyes at another time. So thanks so much for tuning in this morning. Yeah, I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. Here is, don't know if you can see it there. That's the state of the painting right now, and we'll see when it dries what happens when I take the paint, or say the tape off of it, and everything kind of levels out. We'll see what it looks like. But yeah, it was a good little sketch today. So thanks for tuning in. And in the comments, yeah, if you have any questions and whatnot, just leave them in the comments. And yeah, I want to do it again pretty soon, so stay tuned, and like and share and subscribe if you're into it. I really appreciate all the support, and I think it's a fun way to share with each other. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.